Alternate put together a list of the top 50 most influential marijuana users. So let's go through it here. Now remember, this is a list according to them. So if I made the list, it would have been different. I mean, so for example, Seth Rogen is off the list. Dave Chappelle is off the list. Willie Nelson, Bob Marley. I mean, to not have a list with, to have a list about marijuana users without Willie Nelson and Bob Marley. And Cheech and Chong, I mean, they seem like they should be on. They're not on this list, so let me give you the list according to them, which either way, it's a fascinating list. This is very interesting. So, number 50, this guy should be like number 1 in real life, but they put number 50, Snoop Dogg. Number 49, Rick Steves. Number 48, Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone said, quote, "I went to Vietnam and I was there for a long time. Using marijuana made the difference between staying human or, as Michael Douglas said, becoming a beast." Number 47, they have Rihanna. And they have some quotes of hers here as well. I'll spare you some of the details for all these different people. Hugh Hefner said, quote, "Smoking helped put me in touch with the realm of the senses." Then we also have Miley Cyrus, who said, quote, "You know you're a stoner when your friends make you a Bob Marley cake." I don't know how true that is, but nonetheless, that's what she said. Number 44, Bryan Cranston. You have 43, Robert Downey Jr., who said, quote, he started smoking weed at age 8, or I'm sorry, that's the press reporting on him, who he said he started smoking at age 8, which is kind of crazy. Number 42, Madonna. Number 41, Johnny Depp. Number 40, Phil Jackson. That's interesting. Number 39, Sarah Palin. I think it's fair to say that she was unintelligent before the weed, but if some weed opponents wanted to pounce on that, they could say, see what happened to goddamn Sarah Palin. Got to stay off that ganja. She said, quote, "I can't claim a Bill Clinton and say that I never inhaled." Number 38, Justin Bieber. Number 37, Maya Angelou. It seems kind of fucked up to put Justin Bieber and Maya Angelou on a list together, but nonetheless they did. Number 36, Lincoln Chafee. If you're wondering who that is, so is everybody else. Fear not, it's the governor of Rhode Island. Number 35, Matt Damon. Number 34, Conan O'Brien. Number 33, Susan Sarandon. Now, I should also mention, for the record here, that a lot of these people, they don't necessarily use it all the time. Some people have just tried it a couple times. Other people do use it on a regular basis. But again, this is their list of the most influential who have done it. Number 32, Andrew Sullivan. Number 31, John Hickenlooper. If you're wondering who that is, that's the governor of Colorado. Number 30, Seth MacFarlane. Number 29, Martha Stewart. She says, quote, "Of course I know how to roll a joint." Number 28, Angelina Jolie. Number 27, Morgan Freeman. Number 26, David Letterman. He said, quote, "I went through one period when I smoked a really breathtaking amount of grass almost every night." You have number 25, Jennifer Aniston. Quote, "I enjoy it once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that. Everything in moderation. I wouldn't call myself a pothead." Number 24, Michael Phelps. Now let's pause here for a second, because that one, it pisses me off what happened with him. Because he cowed away like a little bitch. I mean, here's a guy who won roughly 3,000 gold medals at the Olympics, and then he gets caught smoking weed, and he's like, I wasn't thinking, did I really do it? I didn't do it, it wasn't me, okay, it was me, and I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it, somebody forced the joint in my mouth. Okay, you little whiny punk. You should have stood up, you were in a better position than anybody ever to stand up and say, excuse me, how many gold medals did I win? That's right, sit down and shut up, I'll smoke whatever I want to smoke. He was in such a good position to stand up and say, hello, smoking some weed is just like drinking a beer, not a big fucking deal. I won how many gold medals? And I was able to do that, and I smoke weed? Maybe smoking weed isn't the worst thing in the world, but no, he kowtowed to public opinion. So even the fact that he's on this list is pissing me off, because yeah, he's influential, but he's influential in a bad direction. He's influential in the sense that he smoked weed and he acted like he was ashamed of it. So he pisses me off, if you can't tell. Number 23. Tom Brokaw. Number 22, Ted Turner. Number Number 21, Brad Pitt, who said, quote, I was hiding out from the celebrity thing. I was smoking way too much weed. Number 20, Lady Gaga, who said, quote, I smoke a lot of pot when I write music. That's an interesting point because a lot of creative people say that marijuana makes them more creative. In fact, they've done studies about this, and one of the ways that weed affects your brain is it allows you to make connections that you wouldn't normally see. So it allows you to be more loose and free in the way you think and the way you perceive things, and then that can translate into better music or better poetry or anything in the arts field. It could be improved. So not surprising that Lady Gaga said that. Number 19, Michael Bloomberg, who said, quote, you bet I did it, and I enjoyed it. Number 18, George Clooney. He said, the owner of a local cannabis cafe told reporters George Clooney was no stranger here. So that's other people saying he would frequent the cannabis cafe. Number 17, Rush Limbaugh. It's ironic that he's on the list because he wants anybody who does any drugs to go to jail, except for him. He could smoke weed and he could pop 30 Percocets a day, or Vicodin, or whatever opiate or opioid he was taking, and he thinks that's fine, but you're the problem. Number 16, LeBron James. Number 15, Sanjay Gupta, who said, quote, I have tried it. Number 14, Rand Paul. Number 13, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York. Number 12, George W. Bush. Listen how stupid this guy is. Quote, I wouldn't answer the marijuana questions. You know why? Because I don't want some little kid doing what I tried. So, you did answer the marijuana question without realizing you did. Number 11, Bill Gates. Number 10, Bill Maher. Quote, look, I have never made a secret of the fact that I have tried marijuana about 50,000 times. Number 9, George Soros. Number 8, John Kerry. Number 7, Jay-Z. Number 6, Jon Stewart, who said, quote, do you know how many movies I wrote when I was high? Many, John. I bet there were many. Number 5, Stephen Colbert. Number 4, Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court Justice. Number 3, Bill Clinton. Number 2, Oprah Winfrey. And number 1, the number 1 most influential marijuana user, President Obama. That makes perfect sense. He was part of the Choom gang when he was younger. There's pictures of him, kind of maybe, we're not sure, but looks like it's smoking weed. Some say, no, it's a cigarette. He rolled up his own cigarette. It looks kind of like weed to me. So he admits that back in the day, he used to smoke quite a bit. So the thing that's annoying about that, though, is great, but now you lock people up because of it. Now, understand, he's gotten better on this issue. Like, he recently pardoned some nonviolent drug offenders, which I'm happy about, and we did a segment giving him praise about that. But the problem is, he's not going balls to the wall on this. I mean, he's on his way out, right? He's in his second term. You can't get elected to a third term, so why not say, fuck it, I'm going to do the right thing and pardon all nonviolent drug offenders, or at least pardon all marijuana offenders who are nonviolent. I mean, that seems like it's a no-brainer. You are that guy. If Barack Obama was caught when he was younger smoking weed, as he did many times, if he was just caught, he would have went to jail and he would have never been the president of the United States of America, and he probably never would have been able to get a decent job because that ruins your record. That ruins your resume. That ruins your life if you get sent to jail for something like drug charges, even though we all understand that in college everybody tries it or most people try it. It's not a big deal, but it does in proper society make people not want to hire you and not want to be associated with you. So he should understand more than anybody else. Him and Bill Clinton and George Bush should all understand. And that's the main point of this list, man, is every single one of these guys who smoked weed, men and women who smoked weed, they should all own it, and they should all say, look, there's nothing fucking wrong with it. Could we end this drug war, and can we end this stupidity? We're ruining people's lives with how we approach this from a policy perspective, especially the lives of minorities. There's a reason why there's a fantastic new book out called The New Jim Crow, which talks about how the drug war is the new Jim Crow, and it's a way to keep down minorities and keep them in a situation that they were in, like in previous generations when there was Jim Crow and segregation, and before that, slavery. So there you have it. There's your list of the most influential drug users. I just wish that in a perfect world, they'd all stand up and say, enough. We did it. It's not a big deal. Anybody else who did it, it's not a big deal. Let's get past this as a society, as a country, and fix the problem, which is the drug war, not drugs themselves.